I have always had a very intense internal world. From a young age and into my adulthood, I struggled with depressive states. I couldn't quite fit in back then, and I know this sounds like such a cliche, but it is the truth. I learned to swallow down my emotions because they were not acceptable to people, and that led me to become this expressionless stone for many years, until I couldn't hold it anymore and had a very big mental breakdown, literally an emotional and nervous collapse. Not the one that would be resolved by taking a holiday and rest, but the one that would completely change the trajectory of my life. My world was turned upside down. Constant panic attacks were paying me a visit, and I was afraid to simply walk on planet Earth. I was riddled with fear, dissociation, and very heavy fatigue. Then I started crying. So much. I cried out all those emotions I couldn't express before. And that state actually led me to my real calling, art. I was in so much pain back then that all I could do was paint. So I started painting everything. The good, the bad, my pain, my aches. I painted what was not acceptable about me, what I didn't like, what I wanted to hide. And as I did that, my health slowly began to improve, because I was no longer stuffing down my emotions. I had an outlet, and that outlet was the canvas. I've realized that I now have a tool. I can literally paint and make sense of my internal states, giving them meaning and space on the canvas. With each piece expressed, I felt immense relief. Art allows me to organize my emotions, to reshape them, to make them into something I can understand. Back then, my emotions were too much, too chaotic. They needed space. I couldn't hold them down anymore. It was chaos beyond what I could contain. To this day, it is still hard for me to control my internal world. That is why art gives me sense of control. Every corner of my canvas is usually structured and intentional. Almost every symbol is placed with purpose. It's almost like spreadsheets, but on canvas. Art is like my office. Something wants out, and I paint a story about it. When my mental state becomes overwhelmed, I think of a painting that can make sense of it. Take that chaotic energy and alchemize it onto the canvas. I take something that has been weighing me down and imagine the solution. How would I make it beautiful, lighter? I ask what it needs, and the solutions come in the form of images. Over time, I've realized that I'm not only painting my visions, I am living them. I transform myself not only on canvas, but in the real world as well. Everything I paint is a reflection of my inner world. The images we paint are speaking to us. They want to be seen, heard, expressed. They are energies, desires, needs. We can literally move energy through art. Painting is a powerful way to work directly with your emotions, When you create, you are moved from within. It changes you. It changes your nervous system. It changes your brain. Imagine that the images you paint have the power to change your life. So like this, art gives us power to organize our inner world. If you feel a desire to paint or create something, that is like a calling from your unconscious mind. If certain images resonate with you deeply enough that you choose to bring them into form, that means something important. If something has been troubling you, you can imagine ways to resolve it or transform it into something beautiful. And the images that appear are not a coincidence. They already hold a piece of truth, maybe even a direction you need to take in real life. Reality speaks to us through symbols. We become emotionally attached to symbols for a reason. What we paint can potentially be lived out because it directly relates to our inner world. It has been scientifically shown that art can change neural pathways, essentially helping to rewrite the brain. It can also give us access to the subconscious and even the unconscious mind. You see, humans experience reality as images, flashes, and sensations. Before we can articulate something with words, we know it as a feeling, a memory, an image. So in many ways, we perceive the world through imagery. That's why symbols grip us so strongly. They touch something deep within us, often without us even realizing. And those are the energies that truly matter to us. That's why we should pay attention to the imagery we surround ourselves with, and especially to what we choose to create. Another reason art makes so much sense to me is that I've realized the dualities of this world are illusions. I can take something ugly or unacceptable and express it in a beautiful piece of art. It is no longer bad, it feels integrated, processed. That's why painting made sense to me. It's like I could see the reality is kinda rigged. When I expressed my emotions on canvas, I began to see that duality dissolves, that the world is more unified than it appears. What we call bad emotions often only remain dark when they are unseen, unaddressed, suppressed. When you take something that has been bothering you and place it onto the canvas, it is finally seen. That in itself is therapeutic. That's why I believe art is a powerful form of therapy. It teaches you how to process your emotions. When you engage in artistic creation, you enter a flow state. You immerse yourself fully in the present moment, and that allows emotions to move, to process, to transform. Art as therapy is deeply underestimated. It deserves far greater recognition. Passion and joy are natural states of the soul, and without them, healing becomes incomplete. Healing can be serious, and there is space for deep, heavy work, but we also need to reconnect with fun, joy, and passion. By the way, this piece you are seeing a time-lapse of is called Homecoming. It's about the act of leaving behind what no longer resonates. The courage it takes to burn away the old chapters of our lives and step into the unknown. So in essence, this painting is about shedding what no longer serves, symbolized by the burning house and the pages. and traveling towards who we really are, symbolized by the paper aeroplanes and butterflies traveling towards the sun. I painted this piece for the Passport group show at the Nanticoke Gallery in California. If you wish to adopt this piece, the link is in the description. This piece could also mean literally moving homes. I did it as a metaphor, as I always imagined that the true home is inward. It's important to treat ourselves lovingly and create beautiful inner sanctuary, a home within. Thank you for watching.